Hi, this is Darrell with Carte Blanche Media, and today I have as my guest Kathleen Celmins, who is the owner of The Well-Paid Expert. Kathleen, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. My first question for you is, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I have been in digital marketing since the dawn of digital marketing. I've done a lot of different things since 2011. Back then, the best way to win in digital marketing was to publish the most content. Didn't even have to be relevant. I learned what keywords were years into writing online. But I am still really excited about this landscape. I still think we're at the very beginning of making money online. And yeah, I'm here for it.
Awesome. And how did you get started with your online business there?
Totally strategic and mindfully. No, not at all. I backed into it. I woke up in 2011 on my 30th birthday under a pile of credit card debt and decided, you know what? I need to start a personal finance blog. Which now doesn't really sound like that makes any sense, that those two things shouldn't be connected at all. But here we are. And I started writing about saving money and paying off debt and not writing checks off of credit cards and, things like that. And that online presence built my friendships in a way that has changed my life in really, really remarkable ways. It led to a corporate job as a blog manager for an inbound marketing company that was using HubSpot before it went public. So again, the very dawn of digital marketing, so fun. And then I joined up with a partner who was starting a little podcast, and I helped it grow to a very big podcast and worked with them for years and years and years. And then left in 2018 to do some marketing of my own. And now I help people who are doing cool things make more money online.
Very cool. And what would you say has been your biggest challenge since you got started on your own here?
Building up the podcast so the podcast is called Stacking Benjamins. It's still around. It got picked up by Westwood One, so it's on the radio now. They have a huge presence now. And 5 years after I've left them, I still don't. And so sometimes that's the most frustrating thing, is that, yeah, you can pivot and you can start over and you can have all of the best reasons to do anything new, and it can still be really hard. It's still super humbling to see my email subscribers not be in the tens of thousands, to see my when I tweet something, I don't get 100 replies, stuff like that. And none of that really matters. I'm making more money now than I was 5 years ago. So it's all the metrics that actually matter are going the right direction. But sometimes the hardest thing is the realization that I'd have more followers or something if I'd stayed with my business partner.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I'm sure it's kind of humbling, but at the same time, you probably have a lot more attention than other people. I mean, I've seen kind of how many people you have on LinkedIn and whatnot that you're interacting with. And I think there's probably quite a few people who are envious of where you're at right now, which kind of brings me to my next question. What would you say has been your biggest success there so far?
Every time I work with somebody and coach them to creating a new income stream and seeing them go from believing that can happen for other people to realizing that it's happening for them, it's so good. It's the dopamine hit that keeps me going.
Very cool. And now kind of transitioning a little bit, is there a favorite marketing book or business book that kind of has helped you along the way there? What would you say?
Man, there's so many. I think we were just talking about this when on Threads, people were asking about books, and The Artist's Way changed the way that I treat myself. So the Artist Way says you should write your morning pages. You should write 3 pages every morning. And once a week, you should take yourself out for an artist date. And the fact that I had to be told to do that, and I had to figure out how to do that, made me realize how little time I was giving to myself, how much I was, too much toast, not enough peanut butter situation, like spreading myself really thin and trying to be all the way present at work, all the way present in my marriage, all the way present for my kids, and realizing that like I didn't have anything left for myself after doing that. Now I see that advice and I remember how hard it was to carve out a few minutes for myself every week. And now I'm like, well, I do this at least once a day now. I take time, I go exercise, I'm spending time with myself, on myself. Like, it changed my life. And yeah, I don't always do my morning pages, but I still keep up that artist date.
That's awesome. It's always good to kind of treat yourself well instead of like taking care of everything else that's going on out there. That being said, we already kind of talked about the podcast that you were once involved in, and you can answer that if you'd like, but what would you say is your favorite podcast right now, if you had to answer?
Wow. What's funny is I don't really listen to podcasts. I don't know about you, but I don't commute. And because I don't commute, I don't have like I don't have to get to Central Phoenix for 45 minutes. So what I've been listening to is I subscribe to the Waking Up app, and the owner of the Waking Up app, Sam Harris, digitally remastered all of Alan Watts's lectures from the 60s. And I've been listening to those. There's, I don't know, hundreds of hours at this point into this. And he's, one of the things I really like about that is that so much of it does just sound like a podcast. Like this guy is posthumously podcasting about Eastern religion philosophy, and like some of it is dated. Some of it he uses words that we cannot use anymore. He is a man of a certain era, but so much of it is still relevant. And he is credited for making Zen and Eastern philosophies more accessible to all of America. And I can see why. And it's really a cool practice for me, because when I do get in the car, instead of listening to the news or true crime or any of the stuff that's really interesting, it is more of a soul nourishing listen.
That's awesome. Alan Watts, I've definitely watched or listened, I would say, to some YouTubes of him kind of doing the same exact thing, which kind of brings me to my next question. Is there like an informative YouTube or video series that you kind of pay attention to or watch right now?
Oh man, I use video as I use it for my business. I'm trying really hard to be less awkward on video, but video for me is more of the treat at the end of the day, the getting wrapped up in the fictional world. We just finished the first season of Silo. I
have not heard of Silo. Tell me a little bit more about that there.
So 140 years ago, the founders of the Silo moved people from Earth into this underground silo.
I know what you're talking about.
Like it's a murder mystery series, and it's super.
Yeah, it's kind of, is that kind of sci-fi-ish or not really? Yeah, it's like 140 years in the future or something?
I don't know. Yeah, like they don't say what year it is, and they don't have technology, so it could be kind of any time, but it has sort of like a Cormac McCarthy post-apocalyptic vibe to it.
Very cool. So yeah, I'll have to check that out there.
I like it. They're doing the second season, so
okay. Yeah, it must be good if it's got a second season there. That just kind of... There
better be a second season, because the first one ended on a cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that being said, like going back to business a little bit, what would you say is kind of your most helpful resource or tool that you have used for your business in the past year or so?
So I just signed up for a new one. and it is rad. It is called audiopen.ai. It takes up to 15 minutes. It's a web app. So you can access it on your phone, but you can also access it on your computer. And it takes, you just babble at it and you talk through, you keep it on one topic. And not only does it like clean it up, it uses AI to spit back what you were saying in a better way. It distills it and rewrites it for you. And so what I've been doing is getting in my car after yoga, which is always a time where I have ideas, and just sitting while my AC is kicking in and talking through like whatever was going on in my head for 5 or 6 minutes. And I get these little snippets of, sort of like a picture of my brain state in that moment. It's really, really neat.
Very cool. So it just kind of makes the thoughts that are kind of rambling around in your head and turns them into smarter ideas, it sounds like. Is that?
Yeah, I just or not smarter ideas, but like more articulated. Okay. I don't know if you've ever just talked into a video or a voice note and like not been able to replay it back because you're like, I stumbled, I had to listen to that. Like it takes that piece out of it. You don't ever have to listen to it. It gives you the opportunity to download the audio. I'm like, now that it sounds like that. And you can train it on like how you want the note to come across, if you want it to be in bullet points or if you want it to be professional. I haven't used it yet for business, but I can see, because 15 minutes of audio is about 1,000 words. So you could just talk through a blog post.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out as well. 2 more questions for you there. The next question is kind of, what would you say is the most impactful piece of advice that you could give to somebody who's maybe looking to kind of start their own business or kind of go into, or I know you know a lot about LinkedIn, kind of you can kind of delve in that direction too, if you'd like to.
I think burn your ships. It's not a great reference because it's about colonizers, but that's what they were told to do, is like decide, go all in, burn your ships. You're here now, figure it out. It's not very hard. It's the hardest thing you can do is give up once you've decided to go all in. The hardest thing to do is give up. And also realize that and I'm saying this as a business coach, while you can get really good advice from external forces, the answers that you're seeking is typically within you. Great
advice there. And last but not least there, if someone or some multiple people want to get a hold of you here, what's the best way to get a hold of you or learn more about you?
You can head over to thewellpaidexpert.com. I'm most active on LinkedIn, and I think I'm the only Kathleen Celmins on LinkedIn, so you can look me up there too.
Well, Kathleen Celmins, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and you have a great rest of your day.
You too, Darrell. Thanks so much.